Today Show host Savannah Guthrie is pleading for prayers as her mother remains missing after she didn't show up to church on Sunday morning. Initially, it was a search and rescue operation, but police are now treating Nancy Guthrie's disappearance as a crime. And authorities believe she was taken, quote, possibly in the middle of the night, and that includes possible kidnapping or abduction. Now, Savannah shared on Instagram last night, "We believe in prayer. We believe in voices raised in unison, in love and hope. We believe in goodness. We believe in humanity. Above all, we believe in Him," referring to the Lord. And Savannah also shared Isaiah 26:3, which says, "You'll keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." Now, CBN's Billy Hallowell is here to discuss this story with me. Billy, I mean, this is just heartbreaking and really shocking that somebody like Savannah Guthrie, that her mother, her 84-year-old mother, would be missing. And now to learn that it's possibly an abduction, all of that is just deeply alarming. So what are your initial thoughts on this story?
It's traumatizing in so many ways for the family, obviously, and it would be traumatizing on a normal day for any family. You have a situation here where, Savannah is a public figure, and so you have more scrutiny, more attention, more pressure. And I always think about that when these situations happen in general, but particularly to people like Savannah and her family, because you have a lot more opinion and pressure and push. And the upside of that is you have a lot more prayer because a lot more people know what's going on and they are going to turn to prayer on your behalf. And she's asking for prayer. The purported crime itself, if this is what happened, is terrifying and unbelievable. And really, we need to be on our knees praying for that family and for her mother's return, because we don't know what's going on. But we need to be praying for the authorities because they have a very difficult task right now, and all of that pressure and push. And I don't mean to focus so much on this, but I don't think people realize that that is on the authorities as well, as they're trying to do their job, pull the details together. So we need to be praying for those people investigating this as well.
Yeah, to your point about prayer, I think that's such an important point to make. And Savannah does have a large audience, and I know too that our audience here at CBN, we're a praying audience of those who believe in the power of prayer, and that's why we wanted to bring this story to you. And one of the other things that she said in her post on Instagram, Savannah, was thanking people for the prayers that have already been prayed on behalf of her mother and her family, and also for law enforcement. She said, "Thank you for lifting your prayers with ours to our beloved mother, our dearest Nancy, a woman of deep conviction, a good and faithful servant. Raise your prayers with us and believe with us that she will be lifted by them in this very moment." And I think that is, I'm sure, such an encouragement to Savannah to know that there are thousands, if not millions, really, of people who are praying for her mother's safe return. And this morning, when I was thinking about this story, Billy, I just was thinking about the Psalms, and I thought of Psalm 148, when David is seeking justice for his enemies. And this is really a prayer that I think we should be praying for the potential captors of Nancy Guthrie. David wrote, "Lord, do not let evil people have their way. Do not let evil schemes succeed." And then at the end of that chapter, David ends it by saying, "The godly will live in your presence." So calling justice for evil is such an important cry. And I know that that's close to Savannah's heart right now. She just wants to see justice done. And of course, her mother safely returned. So I think your point is valid. We need to be praying not just for Nancy, not just for the peace of the Guthrie family, but also for law enforcement, because they're dealing with a lot of details that make it tricky, especially when you have somebody like Savannah Guthrie, who's a celebrity. That just complicates things. So there's a lot to be praying for here. But Billy, I'll give you the final thoughts on this.
Yeah, when you look at 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, it talks about rejoicing always and giving thanks in all circumstances. And that's a very difficult thing to do when something like this is happening, and that is the will of God. But the big part of that I want to focus on is pray without ceasing. This is something that I've been thinking a lot about, and we need to be doing that in this situation. We're called to do it every day in our lives, and I think a lot of us fail to do it because we get busy or life takes over. But we need to be praying for Savannah and her family and her mother and those captors and the authorities without ceasing. Again, that's 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. It's a good one to be reflecting on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to all of that. Well, if you're still with us watching this video, be sure to continue to pray for Savannah Guthrie, for Nancy Guthrie, and for this entire situation.